Welcome back, Joe Smith Stadium. Week 0 in the books. Blue Jays victorious over the Enid Plainsmen. Final score 23-21. Welcome back inside the Terra Insure Group post-game show. Blue Jays now get set to take on the Shawnee Wolves next week. But before that happens, time now to go downstairs with our F&M Bank on-field interviews, as Parker Burnett is now joined by the Blue Jay head coach, Kelly Beebe.
Down here with Kelly Beebe. Hey, Coach, you're facing a much improved Enid team, 6A school. How do you feel like you played tonight?
Well, all in all, I want to say, number one, the stands and the fans outstanding tonight. It meant a lot to our kids and our program. Typical first game and another really kind of classic game with Enid. Take last year out with all the turnovers. I think 3 years ago we had a 22-20 or 22-19 ball game down here. So it's always been real competitive, even though they have almost twice as many kids as we do. Learned a lot about ourselves tonight. We had some key guys go out of the game with a couple of leg injuries and had to get some other guys in. Made plays when we had to. Wasn't pleased with the penalties. Wasn't pleased with, some of the way we handled the dynamics of the game, whether it be a turnover. Those are first week deals. Those are inexperienced deals, and those things will be corrected. But the main thing is I think we're 99% healthy, and we got the W.
Coach, with all that being said, when your team needed a defensive stand, there they were on that big fourth down play.
Yeah, at one time Spade was out cramping, and JD was nursing a leg, and we had our quarterback out here playing there late in the series, which he played 12 games for us a year ago. I've always been a pressure don't cover kind of guy.
Yeah.
Mayberry kid when given time was very effective. 8 and 3 could really go, and that's something that we're going to have to prove that we can stop by either coverage or pressure as the season wears on. I thought we had some really, really, really good run game tonight with Josh and Caden, option stuff, base stuff, and I thought we really managed the clock extremely well. I was proud of our new kicker. Whenever he got an opportunity, he did what he was supposed to and made his field goals. The big safety, came up huge for us. And it came down really that they made a couple more mistakes than we did because we both capitalized off each other. And that's what you always worry about in the first game, especially with 5 new offensive linemen, new quarterback, couple new wide receivers, 3 new defensive linemen, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Hey, Coach, this is Phil. Hey, first of all, congratulations on the dub, brother.
Absolutely.
That's the most important thing. You talked a little bit about all the new players out there on the field. Talk about your big uglies up front on the offensive side, those 5 new starting offensive linemen. I thought they did a heck of a job. You got your first game with 5 new linemen. You get 140 yards rushing for your tailback. You're doing something right.
Well, those guys are big and they're strong. We got them in the weight room this winter, and, they're all 1,000-pounders and move pretty well. It's just, getting used to the game speed and those kind of things. And, when they keep their pad level and drive, Coach Sanders done a great job. I want to say something about Coach Rice tonight in his first game of calling on the big stage. I thought he managed the game really well, really liked our tempo and clock management. Coach Gordon's receivers, Coach Gordon's defensive back, Coach Hayes' receivers. This is a whole new process we're going through right now, teaching everybody how we do it down here in Guthrie, and this goes a long ways to setting that goal.
Well, and I think the thing I like also, Coach, and I know is number one most important to you, showed some discipline out there, really did a good job overall. I know the penalties are something that drives you crazy, but
no, they're going to be a whole bunch of bear crawls for those. I promise you. I got them written down on my sheet.
But I can tell you this, from up here just looking down. I mean, gosh, the kids conducted themselves well. I know you guys will clean up the penalty stuff, but overall it was a good night for the Jays.
So many new pieces, and obviously Coach Gordon sliding in there with Coach Hayes and Coach Maché was down here with me tonight, and I, obviously there was 2 or 3 times that he gave me very good wisdom and knowledge, which is why I bought him a pair of shoes to stick around. But to get our units on and off when we needed to and those kind of things, that's big. I mean, we had a punt after safety or kicked after safety tonight. We had an onside kick attempt that we thought, and then they wound up going deep on us. But all those things are great, especially get that under your belt in 0 week. As we go into Shawnee.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, talk about Shawnee having a hard time tonight with Chawtall. 49-6 last time we saw. But talk about the Shawnee Wolves and what we'll see from them on the road next week.
Well, I've never played a Shawnee team that wasn't good on offense. Coach Brown's one of the best offensive minds in the state of Oklahoma, and I've said 100 times, a lot of the defensive scheme that's been built in Guthrie over the last 16 years has been predicated off playing them. Have not got to see them on film yet. I know they went up against Ardmore, last year's state runner-up in their scrimmage. And then I know, talking to Coach Brown, that he thought that Choctaw's skill kids were extremely good. So just have to watch and evaluate the film. I think it's supposed to be 97 degrees next Friday. So, hydration, conditioning, and all those kind of things will come into play over there. Luckily, it's on grass.
With the victory secured, what a beautiful night here inside Jelsma. The paint, the grass looks great. The crowd was great. The band was great. It was just a great opening night inside Jelsma.
I agree. Perfect night at the Rock. As soon as we came out the second half, had a big drive, and our young kids, and they need to learn who's going to lead, and they need to learn how to just play hard through the ebbs and flows in the games, and that's what these preseason games are for. Of course, we want to win them, obviously.
Yep.
Right.
But we got to be able to carry our water by the time we get to week 4.
Yeah.
6A Path continues next week. Coach, have a great week of practice, and we'll see you in Shawnee.
Guys, as always, we appreciate y'all giving coverage to our kids and our community. And we will see you next week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach Kelly Beebe on the Terra Insure Group post-game shows as that wraps up our F&M Bank on-field interviews, and a lot of work, as you would expect, going into next week.